Hello and welcome to another guitar channel. Another guitar channel is a channel for all those guitarists who cannot play the guitar but they love to turn the knobs. In today's episode we're gonna talk about the guitar of someone who can play the guitar. Michelangelo Batio is the guy who's known for playing the guitar in very special way. He's got actually two ways of playing the instrument. First way is like normally we play like that. Let's do it like pink. Normally we play like this, yeah. But Michelangelo Batio as well is playing like that. It's called over under over, something like that. So he's playing like that. But as well, Michelangelo Batio is known for playing two guitars. I mean, one guitar with two necks, which is set up like that, and he's playing them like this. So he's using those tappings and pull-off techniques with his both hands. Quite useful skill, but not very popular. And I will need to admit, I have never heard Michelangelo Batio playing the instrument. I was never interested really, and all I know about him is like the pictures of him from guitar magazines, and I know that someone like that exists. I know it's a shame, but well, face it, that's true. But from other hand, because I'm interested in guitars and I'm interested in gear rather than playing, I was always keen on the instrument he's using. So I was always keen on his Dean guitars he was, like using over the years. I think at the moment he doesn't have the contract with Dean anymore, and he's not playing Dean's. The guitars he's playing, they are called Sawtooth, something like that. I don't know anything about this brand, about this company. But for years he was known for playing Dean instruments, and actually he was using them a lot. And because as well I'm working to cooperate with Polish distributor of Dean as well, I knew him from this side in some way. Some time ago I just bought the instrument of him, his signature Dean instrument called MAB3, Michelangelo Batio MAB. It's a, let's say, budget instrument, because it's made in China, so it's not the guitar he's really using. It's the guitar which he is like giving the signature and trying to sell them. As always, with the range of the signature instruments, there is a question: are they really better than the standard instruments made by the companies without the name of the famous player? I don't think so. And actually, if the guitar company is making the guitars good, it doesn't really matter if they are made for someone with someone's name, or is it like they are made just like that. This instrument here is made in China. I think it's from 2015, and it's like you can see, it's a Superstrat instrument. It is an instrument which is resembling all those things which Ibanez, Charvel, Jackson and Kramer was making in the 80s, and which evolved into what we know now as the super shredder instruments. But from other hand, beside the look, if you look closer as well, but you will see that it's not exact shape and exact copy of the classical Superstrat. It has something different, especially here and here. It looks a little bit different, but it's still like a Superstrat instrument. But from other hand, when you buy an instrument like that in those modern times, you are rather expecting very smooth instrument to play, the instrument which is quite easy to play. And let's think about like RG series from Ibanez, Jackson's Dinky, and all those kind of instruments. They are carved to the point that actually they cannot carve them anymore, if you know what I mean. So actually they are made like very thin, and they are made every millimeter which can be taken out of the wood to make you being able to play more comfortable. It's taken out. I don't know if it makes sense, but actually this instrument is quite chunky. So it reminds me about the first Superstrat from 80s, which wasn't so smooth and wasn't so, you know, tightened down as the instruments are now. And those old shovels, old Jacksons, they were quite chunky as well in some way, and then the techniques and then designs went into the point which we know now, and then Ibanez RG came out, and actually that was some kind of, you know, innovative instrument, because even the pre-RG's model, they were still having this 80s resemblance, and then in this instrument we got it as well. It's quite chunky, you know, with the neck connection here. It's quite chunky with the neck. The neck is flat on this side here, but reminds me a little bit of the classical instrument on the other side. So the profile here is it's quite thick, you know what I mean? It's not, of course, like, I don't know, Gibson from the 50s, but it is quite thick here, and actually it's not like when you take it and you are used to play those modern instruments with the thin necks, you are like, okay, I can feel it. So it reminds me of Gibson 60 in some way, or like more classical Fender neck, something like that. As well, when you look at the connection on the top of the instrument, you can see that it's quite high, like for example Gibsons are, so it's quite high here, and the fretboard doesn't go in the same line like the top of the body, for example. As well, if you look at the body itself, it is very chunky. Actually, it is a proper piece of wood. Of course, it's carved on the side, so it gives you some way of, you know, of having it like not harming your arm and things like that. But from other hand, if you look here where it's not carved, it's proper. It's like good 4 centimeters, I would say. Even I don't have any measurement equipment here, but that's what I can see at the moment. From this point of view, I don't know if it's a Superstrat. So that's what it is with this guitar, and actually that's what surprised me when I took it for the first time in my hands. I was expecting something like, you know, smooth and nice, and it is nice, but actually it's not smooth. It's a proper piece of wood. So that's what it is. Humbucker, single humbucker from Dean, Floyd Rose special, so Korean version of the Floyd Rose. People like it or people hate it. People love it. People hate it. I think it's not a bad bridge, but if you're expecting it's gonna be like the real Floyd Rose, forget about it. It's not gonna be like a real Floyd Rose, but it's working, it's doing the job, and it's much better than some kind of cheap crap that you can buy in China, made of you know, like soft materials. It's not made of steel like the proper Floyd Rose should be, but it's not so bad. The guitar itself, it's made of basswood here, and then we got the top from the flamed maple on the top of the guitar. I thought for the first time, I thought it is like, because you got some kind of binding here on the sides. It's not binding because it's not made of plastic, it's like unpainted wood, and I thought that this is showing how thick is the maple cap. But now I looked at this instrument, and I think it's not the maple. I think the maple is still like a very thin veneer, and I think it's just on the top here, and this is still the wood from the body. So at the first point I thought it's like, you know, the cup, but it's not so huge. You can see it here, for example. This stuff is telling us about it, because it goes to the level of this basswood body, and it comes here, and then the top from the flame maple is like starting somewhere there, so it's not like that. So they fooled me for a while, but now I'm not fooled anymore. Maple neck made of 2 pieces of wood. The connection of the headstock is somewhere here. This is one piece, then there's another piece of here. There is not much of the lacquer here. There's not much of the paint, so maybe it's not like unpainted, but it's quite smooth. Quite smooth, and you know, it's easy to move your thumb on the back. But the wood, it doesn't look like it's, you know, chosen for this instrument. It's rather something which is, you know, like some kind of maple used by many brands and many instruments. Reminds me of Squire's Affinity, for example. You can see such a kind of neck with Squire's Affinity, but it's good, it's solid, you know, it's everything stays here, you know, it's all like how it should be, so there's no twists and anything like that, so that's make it good as well. 24 frets, jumbo frets, and the rosewood fingerboard. The markers are very looking cheap as well in some way, so that's what it is. This guitar is a signature guitar, but there are some things which are, when you look closer and you had lots of guitars in your hand, you are thinking like, they could do a little bit better. But from other hand, the quality of how it's made, it's still okay, and there is absolutely no problems with that. So even though those markers, I don't like the way of the plastic here is imitating the shell or whatever mother of pearl, whatever, because of course it's a plastic. The way they put it inside, it's quite all right. So absolutely no problem. The guitar stays in tune if you move the bridge, so there is no problem with that. There's five-way switch as well, which you can choose many configurations, so it's not only for plain metal. Sounds good for this kind of instrument. If you see it for, let's say, 220, 240 pounds on the used market, I think that's a good price for this sort of this instrument. Let's say maybe even 200 is quite of the bargain, and actually you can think about buying it if you are looking for something which is not so common like Ibanez and Jackson, and you want, within this range of the instruments, you want a good instrument. It is a good instrument. Of course, I would recommend to swap the pickups and play with it and things like that. Of course, you can buy yourself original Floyd Rose and just swap it as well, and it's going to make this guitar working even better. But still, I would say it's not a bad instrument. What you could hear at the beginning was me playing with Audient Sono and Joyo Uzi. In one channel there was Audient Sono cap simulation, and then in the other channel I've recorded with it with the line out only without any cap simulation, and then I put the VST plugin on top of it, and then I just make it like, you know, in two channels to make it like more powerful. And there was like a short clip of that, and then you're gonna hear it how it sounds from the wood. And then I'm using Boss Katana 100 watts Mark II. Beautiful amplifier. What is very, very important as well, and quite worth mentioning, I've used line out of this amplifier, and actually I didn't record it with a microphone, and I'm very, very happy how it sounds and how the cap sim inside of this is working. So it's a beautiful amplifier. I would recommend this amplifier a lot to everybody who's looking for a good, reliable amp with everything on board. Thank you very much for watching. As always, you know, if you like the channel, it's very good for you that actually you like it. Enjoy, play the guitar, stay tuned.
Thank you.